So what do you advise for people? Because the pharmaceutical industry will give them a drug that may cause their children not to develop.
Yeah. I will answer that in general speaking, so not to her exact situation.
Okay.
But the first thing that comes to my mind is what we can call burnt out adrenals. And what's going to lead to that is coffee, caffeine, chocolates. We could also be looking at any sort of eliminating dairy products, eggs. These are things that when the body has to continuously detox these out of the system, then it doesn't have time to work on the needs of the baby. And then you're going to get toxins that are backing up because it's not detoxing. So those would be some of the things I would focus on. I would definitely focus first on if the mother's consuming any caffeine or chocolate or doing anything that's in extreme levels of stress to eliminate that. And I would say you would also want to increase your amount of fruit that you're eating. So if you're getting headaches, that morning sickness is, dehydration. So fruits are going to be very hydrating. You can do a nettle tea. I would say nettle tea is very good for pregnant women. There's no complications with that at all. So get like traditional medicinals, something like that, a nettle tea, and then increase your fruit content. You can go with watermelons, mangoes, papayas are all excellent. And then what I also like to bring in for pregnant women is steamed potatoes. So steamed sweet potatoes, steamed red potatoes, steamed, Yukon Gold potatoes. These are high in glycogen, which feeds the brain,
Nice.
but that's what feeds the baby as well. So the baby's body is predominantly going to be built on glycogen, which is sugar from fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you get your minerals and such from your nettle tea and your vitamins from your fruits. So if we, started to bring in and look at what the nutrition is, and then the morning sicknesses will tend to go away.
Well, I wish you would have been around when I was pregnant. Nobody told me that. Yeah. Nobody told me the things I could eat and could not eat. It was, back then it was like winging it. And I tell you what, it's been almost 33 years since the last time I was pregnant. My youngest is going to be 33 in April. And I will tell you that I remember the day that the doctor went into my room and said, this was for my first pregnancy. I just kept throwing up, and my ketone level was so high that my doctor said, you have no fat in your body. Now your body is going to start eating your baby because we need for you to eat. And I said, then bring a tray. And I would have it. And he brought me 7 trays of food. They were all stacked up. And so I would eat, throw up. And he goes, eventually something's going to stick. I would eat, throw up. I would eat and throw up. And so eventually something stuck. But you got to do whatever you got to do. And this is a small part of our life. But man, if I would have had somebody say, eat sweet potatoes or steamed potatoes, or because it helps with the brain and it helps with the baby, man, that's such invaluable information. What other information as a certified doula that's preparing people for that natural birth? Because birth, I thought when I was pregnant with my first, that breastfeeding was natural. Well, it was the furthest from natural because we had the nurses at the hospital trying to feed the baby with a bottle and glucose water. And I didn't know any better. I didn't know that it was painful to breastfeed. I didn't know any of that. And so it would have been nice to have somebody say this to me prior to signing up for this. So what would you say to someone that is preparing their body to breastfeed?
So when you work with me, it's a whole system. So I've had people that kind of get mad and they're like, oh, well, you need to do this at this point. And I said, well, if the clients work with me for 9 months till they got pregnant, they've been working with me for the last 9 months, they're not going to have this deficiency of this, this, and this. So they don't have to do all this, weird stuff that's just trendy, but it's not optimal for the birth. I would just say, don't get stuck in that, oh, well, I only have a little bit of this poison, so it's fine. Or my intuition says that I should eat this ice cream. Our intuition is hijacked by marketing and media and promotions and the televisions. There's boards that pay a random sitcom to make sure when that woman on the sitcom is pregnant, that they show her eating giant hamburgers and saying, "We'll get that out of there. I want the tub of ice cream." There's people that's programming. They will, on every TV show, if somebody says, "Oh, I'm gonna have natural birth," they will make fun of that person. And then in the end, they have that person say, "Oh, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm going to do it this way." So what we have to do is, if we start, we're hydrating and, drinking our nettle teas and our coconut waters and just clean, not tap water. And then we work, we're eating our fruits and our vegetables, and we're eating stuff high in what builds a baby, and we're avoiding, these rancid fats and oils and sugars and, all the stuff that I could list. Then when we get to that situation, we're not feeling like, "Oh, I'm craving this and I'm craving that. My baby must need that, or they won't be telling me this." You just stick on the same fruits, vegetables, superfoods, whatever it may be, with quality supplements, and you go all the way through that process. That's the situation that gives you the most optimal birth. What we're really looking to do is, at that moment of birth, we want the body to be relaxed and comfortable. And we want that fight or flight to be used at birth. We don't want to use our fight, flight, or freeze the entire 9 months leading up to pregnancy while we're taking all these poisons and doing high stressful things, and consuming caffeine. And then your body's like, got to detox that, and now it's stressed out. And then you get to the moment of birth and you go to push, and you don't have that stored energy. It's like your battery's lower. So I'm putting you in a process that's charging your battery. Now you got fertile. Now we're charging your battery, and now we're at this moment of natural birth.